All right, folks, Brian Blessing, glad to be with you, ATS.io in Las Vegas. Looking forward to the divisional round of the playoffs, AFC. And this is Sunday, 3:05 Eastern. Cleveland gets the win over Pittsburgh, off to take on the Chiefs in Kansas City at Arrowhead. 3:05 Eastern time is the kickoff. 45 degrees and sunny is the forecast, basically a week out. And the weather can change. There are days it's not a picnic there, and the wind can certainly swirl. Wow, Cleveland lost track of the final score of that game, 49-37. They beat the Steelers. Starts with the first play of the game. The Steelers snap the ball over Roethlisberger's head into the end zone. Touchdown, Browns start, 28-0, blink of an eye. You're like, what just happened here? The crazy thing in that football game is the Steelers still could have won that game because they came back and the Browns were reeling. It's so hard when you start burning clock, even in the second quarter of a football game, if you take your foot off the pedal to get going again. And there was a moment, Mike Tomlin made a real sketchy move. He should have gone for 2 to cut it to 11. He didn't. Then they got the ball right back. And on 4th and 1 from about his own 41-yard line, end of the third quarter, he punts. And like that, Cleveland went down, scored. And it was, goofy back and forth after that. But Cleveland was on the ropes for a little bit. But beyond that, no Stefanski with COVID. He couldn't coach the game. Alex Van Pelt called a great game. Mayfield played a terrific game. Hunt, Chubb, these running backs, these guys can motor. Jarvis Landry played a great football game. Now, I don't know that it's really what you want to be doing is playing a shootout with the Chiefs. But this Browns team is actually capable of playing in goofball games like that. And maybe they can go toe-to-toe with Kansas City. I got to think Patrick Mahomes was watching the second half of that game, the way Roethlisberger was shredding the Browns on occasion. Needed a paper bag, just not to hyperventilate. But listen, it's a great story. Cleveland gets the win. Again, we said this in our other videos about the other game. It doesn't matter. You win. Get out of Dodge. Bills didn't play well. They won. Saints, it was ugly. Who cares? They won. All that matters is you're playing again, and that's the story for the Browns. Can Mayfield go toe-to-toe? By the way, you got Mahomes going to sling it around, Mayfield on the other side, and you look at the young quarterbacks in this game that are going to be featured this week, and you got Aaron Rodgers on a pedestal, but then you've got from the same draft Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson all running around this weekend. That turned out to be a great quarterback draft class. The Chiefs, what do we have to tell you about the Chiefs you don't know? Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, they got rest in Week 17, didn't need the game. They lost to the Chargers. The one thing we'll tell you, though, laying 9.5, the Chiefs were burning your money. They were winning games, but they weren't covering spreads. This is a 9.5 number. Browns are a nice story. It may get to 10, 55 and a half is the total. This number may go up, the total. It's all about what the weather's going to be at Arrowhead. But the Browns are playing, and they're going to put points on the board. Can Myles Garrett and the Browns defense shore things up a little better than they were against the Steelers? But I give that a little grain of salt because when you get that big lead, you take your foot off the pedal. Sometimes the field can get tilted on you. So they were groping at it for a bit. But then they came back and had their own big plays. Great story. Cleveland wins. Stefanski's back. That will help. But hats off to the Browns who went through the COVID deal, and they actually beat the Steelers in back-to-back weeks. Should be a fun one. ATS.io. Don't forget Adam Burke in the Sports Betting Podcast. It's great information for you every weekday morning.